Hare Hare slower. Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Tripti.
Hare Krishna. So we'll start our today's session. So we welcome you all in today's class. So we'll start with the invocation prayers. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshe Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsa Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubrasya Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So we welcome you all. So we'll continue our reading from Brahma-saṁhitā. So we are on text 50. Screen. Give me a minute, I'm sharing my screen. So, everybody see my screen? Okay. So, let's start from this one, Śrī brahma-saṁhitā 550. Yat pada pallava yugam vinidhaya kumbha Dvandve pranama samiye sagandha ganadiraja Vignan vihantum alam asya jagat trayasya Govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. Let's recite one more time. Yat pada pallava yugam vinadhaya kumbha Dvandve pranami samyasa ganatiraja Vignan vihantum alam asya jagat trayasya Govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. So translation by Srila Prabhupada, I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, whose lotus feet are always held by Ganesha upon the pair of tumuli protruding from his elephant head in order to obtain power for his function of destroying all the obstacles on the path of progress of 3 worlds. So here, what is describing is they are talking about Lord Ganesha. So Ganesha is like he has the power to destroy all the obstacles. Like we do, like we call Vigna Vinashak Ganpati ji, right? We any auspicious thing we do, first of all we worship Lord Ganesha. Like any marriage ceremony, any housewarming ceremony, anything auspicious we do, we first worship Lord Ganesha. We start our worshipping from Lord Ganesha. So Lord Ganesha, he is very, very powerful and very famous and very commonly available in all the Vedas, Puranas, and our Itihas, right? So who is Lord Ganesha? So Lord Ganesha is the son of Lord Shiva and Parvati. And he is also known as God of good fortune. So Ganesha is also known as God of good fortune. That's why before any auspicious thing, we invoke Lord Ganesha, we invite Lord Ganesha so that everything will be auspicious, because he is the symbol of good fortune also. So Lord Ganesha, we know he's very smart and intelligent. One time, Lord Ganesha had a bet with his brother Kartika. He said, like, let's do a contest, like who will make a circle of universe first, he will win. So Kartika was very, very simple. So Lord Ganesha, as we just now said, that Lord Ganesha is very smart and intelligent. So he knew, so like mother is like, we call mother is the universe. So he quickly take one round of his mother and he said, I won. He took the circle of Mother Parvati and he said, I won. So Kartika said, how come? So he said, my mom is my universe. So this is why we said Lord Ganesh is very smart and intelligent. So that's why student also, whenever they have exams, like when we were in India, like kids used to go to Lord Ganesha temple for good marks and everything, right? So Lord Ganesha removes all the obstacles from our path. And Lord Ganesha has 2 wives. Who are they? Riddhi and Siddhi. So what are the significance of Riddhi and Siddhi? These are the significance of prosperity and success. So Lord Ganesha is the master of prosperity and success also. He gives us prosperity and success. When we pray to him, he will give us success and prosperity. Like on Diwali day, we also worship Lord Ganesha, right? For prosperity. Like we say, like we should be prosperous, healthy. And who is the carrier of Lord Ganesha? Anybody would like to say who is the carrier of Lord Ganesha? Anybody can unmute. Okay, so Lord Ganesha's carrier is mouse.
Mushak.
Yeah, Moshak. Yeah, mouse. Mouse is the Lord Ganesha's carrier. So what mouse signifies? It signifies our mind and ego, our false ego, right? How our mind is flickering, right? So that signifies our mind and ego. So where does Lord Ganesha get all this strength? Does anybody know where Lord Ganesha get all this strength? Like he has given the power, like he has, like in this verse it is said that in order to obtain power for his function of destroying all the obstacles, right? Here it is said that from where he obtained power for his function of destroying all the obstacles. Any answer? From where does he obtain this power of destroying all the obstacles? Okay, so he get this power of destroying all the obstacles from Narsingadev. So Narsingadev, we also call Narsingadev Vigna Vinashak Bhakti Vigna Vinashak Narsingha Dev, right? We call Narsingha Dev when we, after the Aarti, when we say the Jaykar, we said Vigna Vinashak Narsingha Dev Bhagwan Ki Jai. So Lord Ganesha got his all the powers from Narsingha Dev. That's why Narsingha Dev is also called as Vigna Vinashak. Okay, and in this quote, it is also written, Vignam Vihantum Alam Asya Jagat Trayasya. So Vignam means like all the obstacles, Vihantam, like destroy. So from where does he get this, all these powers? Lord Ganesha get these powers from Lord Narsingha Dev to Vigna Vinashak, to remove all the obstacles he get from the Lord Narsingha Dev. So yesterday was the Narsingh Chaturdashi. So we were like doing some prayers. So now this is all about like from we as a devotees, from where do we get the ultimate protection? Any answers? Like where do we get our ultimate protection? Anybody can unmute?
Is it from Lord Krishna?
Yeah, Lord Krishna. But Lord Krishna, how from Lord Krishna? By which means we get the... By hearing the stories like Katha, by chanting, we get the power, right? We as a devotees get the power and ultimate protection from Krishna by means of his listening of his Katha and chanting, right? Reading books, that's the source of our power. Like we get the power of Krishna from these sources, right? Like the reading, chanting, and the listening kathas. So in Gopi Geet, gopis are saying very powerful thing. Let's see that. So gopis are saying, Tav kathamritam tapta jivanam kavi birinditam kalmashapaham shravana mangalam Śrī brahma-saṁhitā bhuvi grananti ye purida jana bhuvi grananti ye purida jana. The nectar of your words and the description of your activities are the life and soul of those suffering in this material world. These narrations, transmitted by learned sage, eradicates one's sinful reactions and bestow good fortune upon whoever hears them. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and are filled with spiritual power. Certainly, those who spread the message of Godhead are most munificent. So what gopis are saying? Tav kathamritam. By listening about your katha, your stories, your pastime, all the sufferings go away. Tav kathamritam tapta jivanam. We get the source, like all the miseries, we can get out of all the miseries by listening about your nectarian kathas, right? So we as a devotees get our ultimate protection from Krishna Katha, right? That's why we should keep on listening and hearing the Krishna Katha all the time, right? And since we are talking about Narsingha Dev, so Narsingha Dev also gives special strength to devotees because he is known as Bhakti Vigna Vinashak Narsingha Dev, which means he removes all the obstacles from our bhakti path if we sincerely pray to him. So what we have to do? Sincerely pray to him. So who prayed to Narsingha Dev? Why did Narsingha Dev appeared? We all know this pastime, right? Anybody would like to say, like, for whom did Narsingha Dev appeared?
Prahlad Maharaj?
Yeah, so Prahlad Maharaj sincerely prayed to Narsingha Dev, right? So what we are trying to say here is like Prahlad Maharaj fully surrendered to Narsinghadev. When his dad, Hiranyakashipu, asked, where is your God? Like, is he here? Is he there? And he said, he's everywhere, right? He said, is he in the pillar? So he said, yes, he's in the pillar. To prove his devotees, his sincere devotees' words, Narsingadev appeared from the pillar, right? Just to prove his words, like prove his sincere devotees' words, he appeared from the pillar. Okay, so Narsinghadev incarnates only to prove the words of his dear devotees, Prahlad Maharaj, which means Krishna gives personal attention to each and every devotee, provided we should surrender him with full faith. Our surrender should be like Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj is a very special devotee of Lord Narsingadev, right? Like we all know, Srimad Bhagavatam is full of the pastimes of all the devotees of Krishna, right? But Prahlad Maharaj, he has whole full one canto. The seventh canto is fully dependent on, like fully about the teachings of Prahlad Maharaj prayers. So whole one canto is dedicated to Prahlad Maharaj. How beautiful he is, like how important he is and how important his prayers are for us, like teachings. And Prabhupada is very fond of Prahlad Maharaj. So he many times he quoted Prahlad prayers in his teachings, in his morning walks, when we listen to his lectures. Many times he quoted about Prahlad Maharaj. He was profusely quoting all the text, all the verses of Prahlad teaching many times in his lectures. So he was very fond of Prahlad Maharaj. He always give example, like he always says how selflessly Prahlad Maharaj was praying to Lord, right? He was not worried about himself. He went into all the different situation, all the adverse situation, right? You name it, all the many different situation. He was thrown from the cliff. He was put it in the fire. Everywhere he was not at all worried about himself, but he wants to deliver the whole world, right? He wants to deliver his dad, Hiranyakashipu, right? He wants to deliver his father, Hiranyakashipu. So he always give example how selflessly Prahlad Maharaj is not concerned about himself, and is trying to be compassionate for the entire his Hiranyakashipu's family and everybody, right? Our Prabhupada is also so compassionate. He left all his comfort in, like he was simply living in the Radha Damodar temple, like he has everything. He was writing books. He was like completely comfortable there doing everything. But he left all his comfort and he came out to West to preach in the winter season, right? At the age of 69. He was so compassionate and he was so sincere. So we have to be very sincere and compassionate and very if we have full faith, then Krishna will fulfill all our desires, right? So here we are learning, say, because of the sincere desire of a devotee like Prahlad Maharaj, the Lord Narsinghadev appeared from the pillar. So if we sincerely pray, then Krishna will definitely help us. And this Prahlad teachings are so beautiful that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also used to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from Gadadhar Pandit, who is Srimati Radharani. In the Chaitanya Leela, Gadadhar Pandit is the form of Radharani. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is used to every day read Srimad Bhagavatam and ask Gadadhar Pandit, can you please recite the pastimes of Prahlad Maharaj? He used to hear that pastime again and again. So these pastimes, Prahlad teachings is so important. This seventh canto teachings is very important for the devotees like us who are it is very important for the practicing devotees. Okay, so let's move on to the teachings of Prahlad Maharaj. Then we will read one beautiful pastime. Let me share. So we will read one or two texts from here. Śrī brahma-saṁhitā Kaumaram acharat prajno dharman bhagavatam iha durlabham manusham janma tad abhi adruvam arthadam. Anybody would like to recite? Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Śrī brahma-saṁhitā Kaumara acharitājno dharman bhagavatanya durlabham manasam janma tadasi adhruvam arthadam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Uncle.
Shri Prahladuvacha Kaumar Acharet Pradnyo Dharmat Bhagavatanniha Durlabham Manusham Janma Tadap Dhruva Mardhanam.
Thank you, Uncle. So let's, anybody else? Otherwise, we'll move on. Okay, let's move on. Translation by our beloved founder, Acharya Srila Prabhupada. Prahlad Maharaj said, one who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved, and although temporary, like other bodies, it is meaningful because in human life, one can perform devotional service. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection. So how beautiful this is. Like, so what Prabhupada is saying here, the intelligent person should start Krishna consciousness right from the childhood, as early as 5 years. In fact, Prabhupada is saying before conceiving, one should start the Krishna consciousness. So like nowadays, we have a devotee community where all the devotees, so before conceiving, they are practicing Krishna consciousness, and before conceiving, they do the Garbha Sanskar. And from that time, they start chanting 32 rounds or more than that. So they are welcoming a Krishna conscious soul. So for that, they started practicing before conceiving only. Not only from the tender age of childhood, before conceiving only, they are praying to Lord and they started practicing. So there's no fixed age for, like in India, commonly they say, oh, when you get old, then we'll start practicing Krishna consciousness. No, there is no age. Even before conception, we should plan for the soul, right? We are invoking a soul, so we should start practicing Krishna consciousness from before that. If not too late, like here, we started Krishna consciousness when our kids were very young, Berks Bhakti Yoga. Now, at least they know what is the purpose of their life, right? So we are so fortunate that our kids know the purpose of their life. They are not going here and there doing all the nonsense things, right? They know the purpose of their life, at least. And they are practicing whatever capacity they can. They are practicing, and they will, I'm sure in future also they will practice this Krishna consciousness, because they know the taste of this Krishna consciousness now, right? And this Manushya Janam, so here what the quote is saying, Durlabham Manusham Janam. So this Manushya, this human body is so rare, right? We should not waste a single minute without Krishna consciousness. This is so rare, and we should make best use of this human body. Okay, only in human body we can practice Krishna consciousness. No other body we can practice Krishna consciousness. So we should be very, very sincere, and we should be very, very careful. We should not waste a single minute. We should start right from the childhood. And it's never too late. You can start Wherever you are, you should, as soon as you come to know how important it is, we should start from there. So this is what they are explaining here. So why? Because this human body is so rare, so we should not waste our time. Let's read two more, then we will read a beautiful pastime. Yatha hi purushaya Vishnu padapashpanam yad esha sarva bhutanam priya atmeshwara suhrit. The human form of life affords one a chance to return home, back to Godhead. Therefore, every living entity, especially in the human form of life, must engage in devotional service to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. So only in the human form of life, we can go back to Godhead. Therefore, we should engage in devotional service. This devotional service is natural because Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the most beloved, the master of the soul, and the well-wisher of all other living beings. So this is very natural for us, right? Sukham aindriyakam datya deha yogena dehinam sarvatra labhyate devad yatha dukham ayatanat tana. Prahlad Maharaj continued, my dear friends, born of demoniac families, the happiness perceived with reference to the sense objects by contact with the body can be obtained in any form of life, according to one's past fruitive activities. Such happiness is automatically obtained without endeavor, just as we obtain distress. So what Prahlad Maharaj is saying? The happiness and distress will automatically come. We don't have to do any endeavor for that. It will automatically come to us. We don't have to do any endeavor for that. So what should be our endeavor? Krishna consciousness. We should do more and more Krishna consciousness. Rest all will automatically come to us. Happiness and distress is all planned on the basis of our karma. So we should not do any practice for that. Tat prayasyo na kartavyo yata ayurbiha vaya param na tatha vindate shimam mukunda charana ambujam. Endeavors merely for sense gratification or material happiness through economic development are not to be performed, for they result only in loss of time and energy with no actual profit. If one's endeavors are directed towards Krishna consciousness, one can surely attain the spiritual platform of self-realization. There is no such benefit from engaging oneself in economic development. So here there is no sense in anything else except Krishna consciousness. So we should put all our efforts in Krishna consciousness. Let's move to 6 and 7. Tato teta kushala shemaya bhavam ashrita shariram parusham yavan na vipadete pushkalam. Therefore, while in material existence, bhavam ashrita, a person fully competent to distinguish wrong from right, must endeavor to achieve the highest goal of life, as long as the body is stout and strong and is not embarrassed by dwindling. So we should start from Kaumaram Acharit Prajna, right from the childhood. We should not wait like when we get old, then we will start. When our body is fit and healthy, we should start from that time only. When our body is stout and strong, we should start from that time. We should not wait. Okay, let's move on to 6 and 7. Pumsho varshatam he ayush tad ardham chaji atmana nishvalam yadaso ratram sheta andham prapitastama. Every human being has a maximum duration of life of 100 years. But for one who cannot control his senses, half of those years are completely lost, because at night he sleeps 12 hours, being covered by ignorance. Therefore, such a person has a lifetime of only 50 years. So half of the time, like average maximum duration of life human being has is 100 years, of which we spend 12 hours in sleeping, right? So we are wasting half of our life in sleeping, eating, meeting, and defending, right? Meat, eating, and defending, right? So we should make best use of time, right? We should control our senses and make best use of our time. We should spend most of our time in Krishna consciousness. This is the lesson which Prahlad Maharaj is giving us. Mugdhasya balaye keshore kridato yati vimshati jaraya grasta dehasya yatya akalpasya vinshati. In the tender age of childhood, when everyone is bewildered, one passes 10 years. Similarly, in boyhood, engaged in sporting and playing, one passes another 10 years. In this way, 20 years are wasted. Similarly, in old age, when one is invalid, unable to perform even material activities, one passes about 20 years wastefully. So here, Prahlad Maharaj is explaining how we are wasting our time. So we should not waste single moment. Without Krishna consciousness, one wastes 20 years in childhood, right? Like babyhood and all those boyhood, and another 20 years in old age. When one cannot perform any material activities and is full of anxiety about what is to be done by his sons and grandsons and how one's estate should be protected. Half of these years are spent in sleep, right? Half 50 years we are spending in sleep, and 20 years and all these things, so only 30 years are left. If we have lifespan of 100 years, then if we have 50 years, then that is also gone. Furthermore, one wastes another 30 years sleeping at night during the rest of his lives. Thus, 70 out of 100 years are wasted by a person who does not know the aim of life and how to utilize this human form. So this human form, so what Prahlad Maharaj is trying to explain here again and again, this human form of life is very, very precious. So we should not waste single moment of it. We should make best use of it. Every moment should be spent in Krishna consciousness. So we should engage all our senses in Krishna consciousness. By that is also Krishna conscious activity, right? We all know, we all are practicing at home, all these things. So we should spend our time, maximum time in Krishna consciousness. So there are many, like about 23, 24, but I want to read one very beautiful pastime of Nrsimhadev. So we'll read that beautiful pastime. So this is a pastime of Nrsimhadev of our Mayapur temple. So we'll quickly read this. On the 24th of March, 1984, at 12:20 a.m., 35 dacoits armed with weapons and bombs attacked Śrī Mayapur Chandrodaya temple. They harassed the devotees and treated them with derision. But the greatest shock came when the dacoits decided to steal the deities of Srila Prabhupada and Srimati Radharani. Fearlessly, the devotees challenged the attackers. How could they see Srila Prabhupada and Srimati Radharani carried away? Shots were fired, a few dacoits fell, and their plans foiled. Srila Prabhupada was rescued, but the beautiful form of Srimati Radharani would no longer grace the main altar. This incident really disturbed the minds of the devotees. Those involved in management were specially concerned to make some permanent solution. This was not the first time the devotees had faced violence and harassment in Mayapur. The co-director of Mayapur suggested that Lord Nrsimhadev be installed. When the dacoits had threatened devotees at Yogapeeth, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and his son Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur had promptly installed Sri Lakshmi Nrsimhadev. There had been no further disturbances. Other devotees in Mayapur were not so keen to follow so closely in these footsteps. The pujari must be a Naishtik brahmachari. So to serve Narsinghadev, there are some protocols. So everybody was nervous to bring Narsinghadev to the temple. But due to the attack of the dacoits and so many mishaps, they finally decided to bring Lord Narsinghadev. So, and the worship of Lord Narsinghadev must be very strict and regulated. Who would be prepared to worship him? Despite such hesitancy, the co-director was enthusiastic to bring Lord Narsinghadev to Mayapur. He asked Bhakti Siddhanta Das and myself to draw some sketches. One day, quite spontaneously, he said that the deity's legs should be bent, ready to jump. He should be looking around ferociously. His fingers should be curled and flames should be coming from his head. I sketched a deity in this mood. The devotees liked it, and Pankajangri Das agreed to worship him. Radha Das, a wealthy devotee from Calcutta, offered to sponsor the sculpting and installing of the deities. So here is the story how our Lakshmi Narsinghadev came into picture. It seemed Lord Narsinghadev appearance in ISKCON Mayapur would be simple, straightforward affair. Radha Das promptly gave rupees 1,30,000 and it was accepted that the deity would be ready for installation in 3 months. I left for South India to get these things organized. By Krishna's grace, I soon found a very famous Sthapati. A Sthapati not only sculpts deities, he is also expert in temple architecture and engineering. The man was very obliging until I mentioned that the deity we wanted to carve was Ugra Narsingha. He emphatically refused to make such a deity. I approached many deity sculptors, but the answer was always the same no. I had made a number of trips between Mayapur and South India. 6 months had passed, but Lord Narsinghadev had not yet manifested in deity form. Radha Das was very anxious to see Lord Narsinghadev installed in Mayapur. He asked me to visit the original Sthapati. I have seen, and once again I pleaded him with our case. This time the sculpture was a little more congenial and offered to read me a chapter from the Silpa Sastra, a Vedic scripture on sculpture and temple architecture that deals with the different forms of deities. He read aloud some verses describing Lord Narsinghadev. A series of verses described his flame-like mane, his searching glance, and his knees bent with 1 foot forward, ready to jump from the pillar. When he read this, I was amazed. This was exactly what we wanted. I showed him the sketch I had done. He was impressed and offered to draw an outline based on the scriptural description, which we could use as a guide for sculpting the deity. He reminded me, though, that he would not carve the form himself. It took him a week to complete the sketch, and it was very impressive. So Lord is manifesting slowly. I returned to Mayapur and showed the sketch to the temple authorities. Everyone wanted this same Sthapati to curve the deity. Once again, I was sent back to South India and tried to convince him. I went straight to the house of Sthapati. I was feeling very anxious. What could I do but pray to Lord Narsinghadev to be merciful and agree to manifest himself in our temple in Sri Mayapur Dham. I hardly said 2 sentences when the man very matter-of-factly said he would carve the deity. The story of how he came to the decision is interesting. The Sthapati had approached his guru, the Shankaracharya of Kanchipuram, about our request. His guru's immediate reply was, "Don't do it. Your family will be destroyed." So this is what the Sthapati's guru, the sculpture guru, is saying, don't do it. Your family will be destroyed. But then after a moment's reflection, he asked, who has asked you to carve this deity? Then he asked, who has asked you to carve this deity? When he heard that it was Hare Krishna people from Navadip, he became very concerned. They want Ugra Narsimha, Are they aware of the implications of sculpting and installing Ugra Narasimha? Such deities were carved over 3,000 years ago by a very elevated Sthapatis. There is a place on the way to Mysore where a very ferocious Ugra Narasimha is installed. The demon Hiranyakashipu is torn upon his lap and his intestines are spilling out all over the altar. Once the standard of worship there was very, very high. There was an elephant procession and festival every day, but gradually the worship declined. Today that place is like a ghost town. The whole village is deserted. No one can live there peacefully. Is that what they want for their project? The Sthapati replied. They are insistent. Now the Sthapati is telling his Guru Maharaj, like they are very insistent for this Ugra Narasimha Dev. They are constantly coming to talk to me about the deity. Apparently they have some problem with the dacoits. Handing his guru a sketch of the deity, he said, "This is the deity they want." His guru took the sketch and looked at it knowingly. "Ah, this is an Ugra category," he said. "But deity in this particular mood is called Thanu Narasimha. He does not exist on this planet. Even the demigods in the heavenly planets don't worship a form like this. Yes, this deity belongs to the Ugra category. Ugra means ferocious, very angry. There are 9 forms within this category. They all are very fierce. The one they want is Thanu Narasimha, stepping out of the pillar. No, don't carve this deity. It will not be auspicious for you. I will talk with you about this later." A few nights later, the Sthapati had a dream. Okay, so this is the conversation from his Guru Maharaj, the Sthapati. And after a few nights, he had a dream. In his dream, his Guru came to him and said, "For them, you can carve Thanu Narasimha." The next morning, he received a hand-delivered letter from Kanchipuram. The letter was from Shankaracharya and gave some instructions regarding temple renovations. There was a footnote at the bottom. It read, "For ISKCON, you can carve Thanu Narasimha." The Sthapati showed me the letter and said, "I have my Guru's blessings. I will carve the deities." Hari Bol. I was overwhelmed with the joy. I gave him an advance payment and asked him how much time it would take to carve the deity. He said the deity would be ready for installation within 6 months. I returned to Mayapur. After 4 peaceful months in the Holy Dham, I decided to go to South India and purchase the heavy brass paraphernalia required for Narasimha Dev worship, and then collect the deity. The trip was well organized and the trouble-free until I visited the Sthapati. I explained to him that all the paraphernalia required for the worship had been purchased and that I had come to collect the deity. He looked at me as if I had lost my sense and exclaimed, "What deity? I haven't even found the suitable stone." I couldn't believe my ears. "But you told me he would be ready in 6 months?" I exclaimed. "I will keep my promise," he said. 6 months after I find the stone, the deity will be ready for installation. His reply was empathetic, but I just couldn't understand or accept the delay. In frustration, I challenged him. "There are big slabs of stone all over South India. What is the problem?" He looked at me the way a teacher would view a slow student and said very deliberately, "I'm not making a grinding mortar, I'm making a deity. The scriptures tell us that only a stone that has life can be used to make Vishnu deity. When you hit 7 points of the stone slab and they make the sound mentioned in the scriptures, then that stone may be suitable." This is how Jagannath deity also, everybody must be knowing the story, right? Every 10 years, Jagannath deities change. This is how they look for Jagannath also. The wood slabs, how they look for the same story. So where were we? "I'm not making a grinding mortar, I'm making a deity. The scriptures tell us that only a stone that has life can be used to make a Vishnu deity. When you hit 7 points of the stone slab and they make the sound mentioned in the scriptures, then that sound may be suitable." But there's a second test to indicate whether the stone is a living stone. There's a bug that eats granite. If it eats from one side of the stone to the other and leaves a complete trail visible behind, then the second test of living stone has been passed. That stone is living stone and an expression can manifest from it. Only from such a slab can I carve your Narasimha. Such stone speaks poetry. All features of deity sculpture from such a stone will be fully expressive and beautiful. Please be patient. I have been searching sincerely for your 6-foot slab. Appearance of Lord Narasimha. I was amazed and little anxious. The devotees in Mayapur were expecting the arrival of the deity soon. How was I going to explain the living stone and search to them? Maybe they would decide to make Narasimha from marble. I decided to try to lighten the subject by discussing the Prahlad Maharaj Murti with the Sthapati. Please forgive me, but I forgot to tell you last time I came that we want a Prahlad Murti. We want to worship Prahlad Narasimha. What do you think? I don't think that will be possible, the Sthapati replied. I looked at him incredulously, not sure what to say. He smiled and continued. You want everything done exactly according to scriptures. Your Narasimha will be 4 feet high. Comparatively speaking, that will make Prahlad Maharaj the size of an amoeba. But we want Prahlad Maharaj 1 foot high. I interrupted. Fine, the Sthapati replied. But that means your Narasimha will have to be about 120 feet high. So that will be 6 feet, right? We began to argue back and forth about Prahlad Maharaj's form. Finally, the Sthapati signed in resignation agreed to make Prahlad Maharaj 1 foot tall. At least I now had something positive to report when I returned to Mayapur. After 2 months, I returned to South India. There had been no developments. I shuttled back and forth from Mayapur to South India every 30 or 40 days. Finally, a stone was found, and the Sthapati became a transformed man. For over a week, he hardly spent any time at home. Hour after hour, day after day, he just sat staring at the slab. He had a chalk in hand but didn't draw anything. He refused to allow his laborers to do anything except remove the excess stone to make the slab rectangular. The next time I visited him, he has made a sketch on the stone. That was all. I was worried. The Mayapur managers were becoming impatient. Are you sure this deity will be finished in 6 months? I asked in desperation. Don't worry, the work will be done, he replied. I returned to Mayapur only to be sent back to South India to check on some details of the deity. I found the Sthapati carving the form himself with intense care and dedication. At that stage, the stone had gone and the shape had come. The Sthapati had just started on the armlets. He took 2 weeks to carve them. All the features were so refined and delicate. I was impressed and very happy. It took the Sthapati a little over 12 months to finish the deity. When he completed the work, he didn't immediately inform me, but decided to visit some friends for a few days. It was a monsoon season. There were few visitors, and he felt it safe to lock up Lord Narasimha securely in his thatched shed. 2 days later, his neighbors ran to inform him that the thatched shed was on fire. There was heavy rain and everything was wet, but the coconut tree roof had caught fire. He ran to the scene to find Narasimha untouched, but the shed burned to ashes. Immediately, he phoned me. Please come and take your deity. He's burning everything. He made it clear he wants to go now. Isn't it amazing so much? Enthusiastically, I traveled to South India, hired a truck and half filled it with sand. I arrived at the Sthapati studio, thinking this final stage would be relatively simple. I had foolishly forgotten that Lord Narasimha is a very heavy personality. He weighed 1 ton. After 2 or 3 hours, we managed to lift the deity safely from the shed onto the truck. To travel across the border safely, we also needed police permission. along with signed papers from the central sales tax, the archaeological director, and the art emporium department in Tamil Nadu. All the officers demanded to see the deity before signing the necessary papers. Once they took darshan of Lord Narasimhadev, they all became very obliging and efficient. We had all the necessary papers in hand within 24 hours. A miracle given the usual quagmire of bureaucracy found in government offices in India. The trip back to Mayapur was also amazingly trouble-free and peaceful. Our protector was certainly with us. Usually the Sthapati comes on the day of the installation ceremony, goes into the deity room and carves the eyes of the deity. This is called Netra Milanam, opening the eyes. It was an exceptional case that our Narasimhadev Sthapati had already carved the eyes. He had not only carved the eyes, he had also done the Prana Pratishtha, installing the life force, a little puja and an arti. I'm sure that is why all the papers were prepared so obligingly, and transporting the Supreme Lord was so easy. He was already present. And who could dare to say no to Lord Narasimhadev? The installation of Lord Narasimhadev was very simple and lasted 3 days, from 28th to 30th of July, 1986. I remember feeling apprehensive that perhaps the installation was too simple. The grave warnings of the Shankaracharya of Kanchipuram had deeply impressed me. But my mind was soon appeased by the awareness of loud, dynamic Kirtan, Sankirtan Yagna, the only true opulence of Kali Yuga, was dominating the scene. I felt enlivened and satisfied. Lord Narasimhadev, the protector of the Sankirtan mission, had finally decided to manifest at Sri Mayapur Chandradev Mandir. Lord Narasimhadev Bhagavan ki jai. Isn't it such a beautiful pastime how Lord manifested, how Ugra Narasimhadev manifested in Mayapur? So I think it's already 8:30. If we have any questions, we can take. Please forgive me for I am not worthy enough to talk here, but due to the situation,
Hare
I am
Krishna
here.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna,
Thanks
Prabhuji.
for wonderful class, and thanks for for reciting the teachings of Prahlad Maharaj, and a wonderful pastime of Lord Narasimhadev.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Yeah.
All Srila Prabhupada's mercy, Prabhuji. He has given everything. It's so beautiful pastime. It was so amazing. I said, let's read this on this special occasion. What could be more beautiful? Look at the Narasimhadev, like Ugra Narasimhadev is looking so beautifully. My God, all the details.
And I believe they are opening the temple of TOVP Narasimhadev wing. I think they're planning to open, right, this year.
This year, I don't know, Prabhuji, they are shifting because of the funds and everything. It is getting delayed. I'm not sure. Initially, they were saying 24. Now they have shifted. I don't know. So, yeah, anybody else want to share something? Who all are in the call? Okay, so we'll do the nurturing arti quickly, then we will end this call. Who would like to do nurturing arti? Is any of the kids there would like to do nurturing arti? Okay, so let me ask. Nobody is there. Let me ask Subrat. Subrat, can you do nurturing arti?
Yeah, does Bhavya want to sing?
No, she's not feeling well. Can you?
Namaste Narashingaya Praladhiladidayine Hiranyakashi Purvakshahar Shilatanka Nakalahe Ito Narshingo Pareto Narshingo Yato Yato Yami Tato Narshingo Bahe Narshingo Hidaye Narshingo Nara Shingamadi Sharana Prapade Davakara Kamalavare Nakan Adbhuta Shinga Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narshingade Jaya Narshingade Narshingade Jaya Narshingade Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Is I go to Haribo 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 Nitai go to Haribo Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Shila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Shila Gurudev Bhakti Vinashak Lakshmi Bhagwan ki jai Bhakta Prahlad Maharaj ki jai Sameda Bhakta Vrind ki jai Nitai Gaur Madan ki
Shila Prabhupada ki jai. Vanchakalpataruvasya kripa sindhuvaya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, uncle.
Thank you very much.
Auntie's feeling better, uncle?
I'm little better. Thank you. Hare
Oh,
Krishna.
auntie. Hare Krishna, auntie. Take care.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Looks like you are very tired, auntie.
Yeah.
Take care, auntie.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. I'm ending this.